Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing this very early 12:20 a.m. March the 14th, 2025. Daily gold and silver bullion, XRP, the blockchain technology, and the crypto that you've come to expect, love, need, and deserve. And if we're looking at what's been going on here in the Bitcoin price, we'll get right on into this as we are your number one cryptocurrency insider with this movement that is built on truth and information and education, most importantly, to keep you out ahead of this ever-changing market. Just like we were talking about, the bearish cross has taken place. You can see the Bitcoin price is down to 90,828.62 on the 50, and the 100-day is just above that now, and we're starting to create some separation. The 200-day is slightly declining down to 85,510. I do believe, and I am forecasting, that eventually you're going to come down like that with the 50-day moving average, and you are going to come below and have a golden bearish cross. But we were talking about the other day when we were just above the $73,000 level that the price could pump up a little bit and maybe get in between the 200-day and this major upper resistance at about 91,200 or just below that 50-day moving average, and that would be what forces the price down and the next leg to the downside here over the next couple of days. And we were theorizing and speculating that during this weekend, that's how we could trade between the just above the 200-day and just below the descending 50 that is just above the 91,000 or 90,037 level, which is a major resistance zone. And that's what would bring you down to $73,000. And then from there, and this is the first mover advantage that you get, from there, you might, in the week to come after you trade that out, your next big flush would be down to 58,903.89, which would be the neckline, followed by a pretty substantial rally to form that right shoulder that you see there in purple on the right side. You would have to fill the right shoulder out. After you touch this, you would have a pretty quick bounce back up into the 85 to maybe even $90,000 range to trade out the right shoulder, right? So that's what we're looking at here in Bitcoin, and that's what we're theorizing. And that's the first mover advantage as the rest of the market now has come on, that we could be in this head and shoulders topping out short-term reversal pattern, or a technical breakout if that was to be the case. And we do confirm this pattern by hitting the neckline and then bouncing into the right shoulder of 32,666.05 would be the technical target, and that's something that we're going to continue to watch out for over the next several days to several weeks. And that's the first mover advantage, the power of Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing. Just like another key information and education you got was identifying that this could be a head and shoulders topping out reversal pattern when the pattern was literally right there in early to mid-January. And now the rest of the market is on board that this is a head and shoulders topping out reversal pattern. And you can see we've hit the neckline once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times now, right? So one of these times, if we keep retesting this neckline, there's going to be a technical breakdown, and the technical target is down here at $1.29. And we've been telling you ever since the price was up here, we were eventually coming back down to the 200-day moving average, and that doesn't take any genius or science. It's just reality. As when you get too far underneath the moving averages, it's got to come back up to the mean, or if you get too far over the moving averages, like you were all the way back here for about 3 months, you have to come back down to the mean. See how far above all the moving averages you were from about late November through the first of the year? You have to come back down to the mean. And now we have. There will be a bearish cross in XRP. I still believe that. You can see they're getting closer and closer and closer as the days go on. But there's still about 15 cents of separation, so it's going to take a little bit longer. We've had this nice return rally off of the major neckline support other than the wick below. And we were talking about the other day, we could get up to the $2.57 range, maybe even a touch higher to 266 before the next leg to the downside, which the next leg to the downside will actually touch the 200-day moving average. But become members of Jabroni Killers. Subscribe to the channel. Our road to 10,000 followers and subscribers starts with you to build this movement and to change the narrative and the cryptocurrency insider influencer in the mainstream and social media, instead of being filled with scams and pumpers and paid promoters. We're trying to build a new reality in the crypto sphere with information, education, and truth to keep the viewers like you out ahead and give you the breaking news and the information that you need. And we're changing the narrative, and we're changing the identity of watching a crypto currency expert online that you know he's not being paid to promote and fleece and heist you or scam you by the nonsense and what goes on in the sphere. Become a subscriber. Help us promote that. Help us achieve our goal to change the narrative and to change the philosophy of social media insiders and influencers, that we're going to change it from heisters and shysters to truth and education in a super simple and easy way to trade this market, Jay. And the Jabroni Killers are industry cheap, $3.99 a month. It's in the video description and or the pinned comment. And that helps support the channel to keep these daily updates coming. And if we look at the hour time frame, you can see we've had that nice rally off that major support level that we talked about. But now we're coming up to the 50-day in the daily, which is a first area of resistance. And then a major resistance area is this $2.55. And that's something that we've been speculating since we were down here about 2 days ago, calling for a potential bounce to come run back up into this area. And now it is this weekend. And we'll see this weekend how it continues to trade out. But I expect a rejection somewhere between that 50 and about the $2.69 level. And that's what we're going to be watching for over the weekend. XLM is another one. We were talking about a potential bounce here up to about the 32 to potentially maybe the 34.5 to 35 cent level, as we've had the bearish cross here in XLM. We've given you the first mover advantage by being the only one out there back here after we hit this top. When we were right there coming off that wick top of 63 cents, we gave you the short to medium term bearish action. And you can see since then, other than a few pumps, excuse me, other than a few pumps, we have been trading down in bearish action, down about 60% from that regional high, or 55%. There's going to be a golden bearish cross in about a week or two, week and a half. And I believe after this little return rally dies out, I think the next leg to the downside is going to bring you down to about 18 cents, followed by a pretty significant rally that could go from about 18 cents, potentially as high as the 36, 37, 38 cent level, and a big buyback from a technical level. And then we'll have to see if that's been enough downside action to where we can return rally this, or if we're going to come down to 14 cents. But there's going to be a couple of big pumps in between then and there. AMP, we're trying to get a rally going, but we've been consistently in this falling wedge, where if we draw this out farther now, you can see we've been in this falling wedge here for quite some time. And I still believe that even though we've had the bearish cross, the golden bearish cross, and now you can see the 100 days getting below the 200-day too. I think there's going to be some sort of a short-term rally here, whether it starts from the current price or whether it starts from lower. There's going to be some sort of a big rally, short rally, to get some of the momentum back, because this coin from its regional top back in December at current price is down 72.79%. So at some point, there's going to be a pretty significant 50 to 75% pump in a short amount of time, what could happen in a couple of hours, that I'm still watching out for. And we're going to continue to pay attention for that, because I do think that is possible, if not likely, and say it happened from current price, my rejection level would be up here, but that would be a 78% move from the current price. So we'll keep watching out for that. H bar is trying to bounce off the 200-day moving average. We're about to have a bearish cross where you can see the 50 is just on top of the 200, and the 100-day is where the price, the 200-day at 19 cents is where the price is. We have this mountain double top up here, or I'm topping reversal pattern, which gives you a technical target of 15 cents. We could breach this 200-day now, hit this 15 cents, and then make a pretty nice return rally back up to around the 23 cents in the short term. That's something that we're watching out for there. XDC also has this head and shoulders topping out reversal pattern. We're about to have a bearish cross in XDC too. You can see the 200-day is down there at about just below 7 cents, 0.069 cents. The 50-day is just above the 200-day by about 3 cents or so. And we're trying to have a little short-term rally, which we could have a short-term rally back up into the 50, and then that's what clears you and pushes you down to that technical target down there at the top part of that orange trading zone. So that's something we're going to watch out for. Algo is trying to bounce like we talked about the other day, that and they're in the blue, that we could get a nice bounce off of that 17-cent level, a return rally back into a falling golden bearish cross, which we're almost about to have. By tomorrow, we're going to have it. You can see the 50-day is just pennies, fractions of pennies above the 200-day. We could be in this blue pattern right here that you see, and where we could bounce off that 17 cents where you're attempting to run up to the bottom part of that red trading zone at 23 cents and an overhead bearish cross falling 50 that would force you down back to 17 cents through it and back to 10 cents before you have an even bigger rally back to the upside, potentially as high as 25 to 28, 29 cents. So that's something that we're watching out for there in Algo. DGB is the same thing in the daily. We've actually almost hit our technical target. We wicked down almost to that 0.00599, and then we came down with a few candlesticks to 0.0688. And this thing had a sharp rally last weekend on a Saturday or a Sunday. Saturday, or in about 2 days, we pumped 73%. And that's something that I'm thinking AMP might do, something similar to that. In the very near short term, where it's still way down from where it was, but it has a quick, big rally to get some momentum and some hype back into it. It'll give away the gains, but there could be a nice trading opportunity there. And DGB, I still think, has to meet that technical target, and that's something that we're going to continue to follow. And then if we look at any news that's going on here, any major news, Trump's strategic Bitcoin reserve sparks backlash over alleged self-enrichment. Crypto potato. U.dot today. XRP already recovered 20%. Enormous Ethereum selling volume before 2006 Shiba Inu recovery attempt. Bitcoin apparent demand reaches lowest point in 2025. Cointelegraph. Global M2 tightens grip on Bitcoin. What's next? U.S. House kills IRS DeFi broker rule. Solana won't cut 80% inflation rate. Let's see what this is. In a significant regulatory development for the crypto industry, the United States House of Representatives voted to nullify a bill that threatened the privacy preservation properties of decentralized finance. In the wider crypto space, one of Solana's network's most significant governance proposals was rejected. It sought to improve a mechanism to reduce Solana's inflation rate by about 80%. The U.S. House follows Senate in passing resolutions to kill IRS DeFi broker rule. House of Representatives voted to nullify decentralized finance protocols to report to the Internal Revenue Service on March 11th. Voted 292 to 132 against a motion to repeal the so-called IRS DeFi broker rule that aimed to expand existing IRS requirements to crypto. All 132 votes kept the rule where Democrat, however, 76 Democrats joined with the Republicans to repeal it. The following by Senate March 4th vote on the motion, which saw it pass 70 to 27, the rule would have forced DeFi platforms such as decentralized exchanges to disclose gross proceeds from crypto sales, including information regarding taxpayers involved in transactions. After the vote, Republican Representative Mike Curry, who submitted the repeal motion, said the DeFi broker rule invades the privacy of tens of millions of Americans, hindering the development of an important new industry in the United States and would overwhelm the IRS. A proposal to dramatically change Solana's inflation system was rejected by stakeholders, but it is being hailed as a victory for a network governance process. Even though our proposal was technically defeated by the vote, this was a major victory for the Solana ecosystem and its governance process. Commitment, Multi-Coin Capital co-founder Tushar Jain, on March 14th, around 74% of staked support voted on proposal SI MD 228 across 910 validators, but just 43.6 voted in favor of it, with 27.4 voting against it, 3.3% absent, according to Dunn Analytics. It needed 66.67% approval from participating voters to pass and only reached 61.4%. Bitcoin $70,000 retracement, part of a macro correction and a bull market analysis. See, we're starting to get more of these mainstream and social media people to get on board with these lower targets, and we've been talking about these lower targets for quite some time. So we'll continue to keep you out ahead of this. We'll continue to break the news down. Do you like this breaking news here? Become members of Jabroni Killers. Help support the channel by subscribing and bell notification to get this movement and to help us change the narrative in the crypto sphere from charlatans and scammers and con men to truth and education and freedom. Peace and love to my lovely, glowing, beautiful audience, the Rex Eyebrow J.